Good evening, everyone. We've got Mark Boucher at the top table. May I please ask that you indicate in the chat, as usual, for any questions. Who would like to go first? Thank you, Nasri.
Thank you, Shibukazi. Mark, what do you take out of a series like this? A 3-0 whitewash. Are there any positives to take?
Yeah, I think so. A guy like George Linder has given a chance to play for his country, and I thought he played really nicely. Fife had a good series of the bat. I think Rusty had a decent series of the bat as well. He's some good knocks today. Yeah, I mean, the guys, I think, are difficult to say when we're playing against a good batting lineup like that. Our bowlers really tested, especially today. But yeah, there were one or two in the series. It's always difficult to look at positives when you lose 3-0, but I think those would be the positives going forward.
Thanks, Nasri. Anybody after Nasri? Percy.
Hi, good evening. I'm Mark. Just briefly, obviously you guys need to do that. Just what happened tonight. It's very short. How do you guys turn things around now for this weekend with the one-day series starting?
Well, it is very short. We've also got a different squad. So, you know, it'd be a couple of fresh faces, some youngsters coming in as well. So we'll feed off that. We understand this is not a short journey, it's a long journey. We'll keep learning. We are getting tested against a very good team. And that's how we want to get tested as well. You know, if it's going to expose a few weaknesses that we have got, then that's a good thing, I think. That's stuff for us to work on and improve on. So no, I don't see it being a problem for us to turn everything around in a short period of time.
Leighton, Shoni, and then Telford.
Mark, just in terms of where the Proteas are, how far behind sort of the other teams are you when you look back on this T20 series?
I don't know about the other teams. We haven't played cricket in quite some time. The two series that we've played have been against England and against Australia. We lost to England. We beat Australia in the one-days. So in the T20s, we lost to them. And now we played against England again. So it's two very good teams. It's difficult to determine where we are amongst the other teams in the world. But I think it's shown now that we've got a lot of work to do in order to catch up to these two teams. And like I said, they are, you know, two of the best teams in the world. So we are getting exposed a bit in certain departments. And I think that's a good thing because it's something to work on.
Shoni.
Maybe a bit of a repetition. So would you say how much of it is rustiness because you haven't really played in a while, even though there has been a bit of cricket, and how much of it is just really playing against a really good team?
Yeah, I'd say a bit of rustiness. We didn't have the ideal preparation. We had to cancel sort of 3 of our warm-up games. But in saying that, I thought we did what we could, you know, with regards to our training and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it was a bit of rustiness, but you know, we're not looking for excuses. We've got to man up, and we've got to face the facts that we lost 3-0. And we've got a determined group of guys there who want to learn and want to learn quickly and want to compete to the world's best. And that's the positive I can take out of the dressing room at the moment.
Telford, and then Fidos and Lloyd.
Hello, Mark. Bad luck. What do you understand the selection target to be at the moment? Has it changed from 2 black Africans and 4 black players, or you know, we hear reports that it's gone up to 3 black Africans? Can you confirm that? And if it is true, how does that affect the way you have to do things?
The only thing I can say is in a transformation meeting, and they were given a sort of a whole outline of what the rules and regulations were, and that's what we've got to abide by. I don't know if that's been taken to the minister yet. it's difficult for me to answer that. I think someone who's above me needs to answer those questions.
Because you have played 3 Black Africans in every game.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so that's tactics, not policy.
I think if you look at the 3 Black Africans, they're very good cricket players. So I don't know where people are going with this. It's like I said, it's not up to me to answer these. I got to select a team that I believe can do a job on the day, and I do select that team along with Victor and with Enoch.
Thank you.
Mark, you mentioned some areas in which you feel the team is being exposed. Can you just elaborate a little bit on that? Like, what specifically do you think you need to work on?
Well, I think we didn't have our all-rounders due to various reasons. So we lacked a 6th bowler. You know, you can't hide behind that sometimes, especially in T20 cricket. You get a bowler who goes. Unfortunately, it happens in most games and most teams. Especially a team like England, they'll tend to fancy a particular bowler on one night, and you need a bit of cover for that particular individual. And we haven't been able to do that because we haven't had the selection of our all-rounders. So that put a bit of a damper on our situation. Also, you know, maybe having a left-hander in the top 6 to sort of in the middle order, especially with a leg spinner like Rashid who turns ball into a left-hander. I think it showed in the England batting lineup how valuable that can be as well. So a couple of things that we got exposed on, some of them unfortunate because it was out of our control, but certainly something that we can look to correct in the future, if possible.
The last questions are from Lloyd, Kanyiso, Shafiq, and Zahir.
How's it, Mark? You'll know better than most, you know, how expectant the South African and passionate the South African cricket public is. Given that they haven't seen cricket in such a long time, you know, maybe they won't have the patience that you guys need in a situation like this. So what would your message be to the South African cricket fans who watched the series and particularly tonight's performance out in the field? What would you say to them?
It's a difficult one. I understand that the South African public want us to win, and we want to win as well. It's difficult to apologize when you go out there and you do your best and you come up against opposition that are superior to you. And I do think that England are a step ahead of not only us, but quite a few different teams in the world cricket at the moment. I think everyone's talking about that as well. My message to a lot of people will be that we are still very much trying. We want to win, and we'll be putting a lot of hard work behind the scenes because we understand that we need to get back to be a good force in world cricket.
Thanks.
Mark, hard luck on the result. When you look at the 2 T20 series that South Africa have lost to Australia and England, one would like to look past the result and try to look at the performance and whether you've looking at finding a core of the team. At what point are you from moving to experimentation and finding what will work to take the team forward?
Well, we haven't been experimenting. We've been using the resources that we've had. As I said, we've had a couple of unfortunate circumstances that were thrown into our squad at this particular stage, which forced our hand to play maybe combinations that we knew maybe weren't correct, but we had to do it. So it's not experimenting at all. I think we want to get into a situation where we are pretty solid on a T20 side and squad. You know, hopefully we can have everyone available for selection in our next T20 competition that we do play.
Shafiq?
Okay, thanks.
Shafiq?
Sorry, Mark, how much of an influence will performances in this T20 series have on the selection for the ODIs, or do you go on what happened with the last ODIs?
It's quite difficult because the last ODIs were ages ago, but we did select a squad based on those performances. So you'll probably see a few of the guys coming back into the one-day squad. You know, we had some good success against Australia, so there's no reason why if there's no cricket that's been played by any of these individuals that we need to change anything. I think, we need to give them the first bite of the cherry once again. There are a couple of other faces that have maybe rested that will be in that one-day squad as well, which will be up for selection. So I think we've got enough depth and a lot of youth as well to be able to select from. So yeah, it's difficult to sort of select a squad when there hasn't been much cricket. You've got to go on past performances, and against Australia where we did win 3-0.
Thanks, Zania.
Mark, about 10 days ago, we sat here and you spoke about wanting the team to make some smart decisions during the series. We have a couple of things. The Henry Klaasen over possibly to Ben Stokes and Johnny Bairstow. The reading of the conditions in Paul ahead of the game. Would you say that your team was smart during the series?
I do think they were smart. As I said, when I had that conversation, after that conversation, we were throwing a couple of curveballs. As I said, a smart decision would be to play 6 bowlers, but the balance of the side, unfortunately, wouldn't have worked out then. So on the field in particular, I like to give the senior or the leader core group of guys the opportunity to make decisions on the field, and they made those decisions. We continuously talk about smart decisions and what we felt we did right, and what we felt we could do better. And we will continuously do that because that's what we want to do. We want to keep growing. I think the 2 games, maybe not tonight, but I think the 2 games, first of all, the one in Cape Town, the first game, and certainly the second game as well, I think we were smart. We just didn't play the big moments that well. And if you look at the games, and we've got the sort of job of analysing games, and with all video analysis, all that type of stuff, it really came down to 1 or 2 overs in both those games that cost us. And that's just big moments that we didn't play as well as what England did, and hence the results. So the first 2 games were a lot tighter than probably people realised. This game, not so much. I think we did just execute early enough for the long period of time today with the ball. I thought we had enough runs. But once again, if you don't execute and you give a couple of frees away, I think against a side like England, they are a powerhouse side and they're going to really punish you, which is exactly what happened tonight.
Mark, just to follow up to that, England they're setting the benchmark in white ball cricket at the moment. How far do you actually, how close or how far do you think you are from them as a unit?
Yeah, I think I don't know how you want me to say it, how far. I think we got a way to go. I think if you look at this England team, when they got together, probably 2017, they got together, and they were also probably asking a lot of questions of themselves, trying to find a balance that they felt was going to sort of suit their style of play. I think we're in that space at the moment as well. These guys have got together, they've won a World Cup, so they're oozing with confidence. And we can see that in the way that they play. So I think their players are in their positions that they're playing are probably a lot more developed than what our players are. Our job is to try and get those guys, our guys in our team, feeling like these guys are. And that's the reason why we're having our chats all the time and trying to get the inexperienced experience as possible, and get the confidence level up, and also the trust that we're heading in the right direction. Days like today are very tough because we haven't won. But I think we'll go back and we'll try and encourage the guys that they need to trust the bigger picture and where we want to go. And I do believe that there is a buy-in in the dressing room with that. A couple of hard lessons are being learnt at the moment, but if we stick to our guns, we're certainly not going to quit. We're here for the long haul.
Thanks very much. Cheers, mate.